Let's talk about the marshmallow costumes from the Rihanna Super Bowl halftime performance. Now, as a former professional dancer, I would like to just address one thing because I saw something on a few different TikToks and people were really excited that the dancers actually got to keep the costumes. And I saw a comment where someone was like, well, why wouldn't they be able to get to keep the costumes? And I wanted to address that. It's great after a performance if the artist or the production team is like, hey, here's the costume, feel free to wear it. We are so appreciative of your work. Here it is, take it home. But that's not always the case. So why wouldn't someone, an artist or a production team, want you to keep a costume? There's plenty of different reasons, but I'm just going to cover a few. One, the performance is so iconic that they want to keep them just for restoration and historic value. Two, they want to recreate the performance again, and they need the costumes. Three, they don't want you to go out and act a fool in those costumes and be associated with it. Mind you, that also might include doing something dangerous or illegal in them. Four, they don't want you to organize, and this is probably a little far-fetched, but organize and actually start a troupe, maybe call them the Marshmallow Dancers or whatever, and actually start monetizing using those costumes just because they're so recognizable. And five, that might lead to people being asked to sell their costumes. And that could lead to flooding the market with all these costumes. And it might be something that Rihanna in the future or team Fenty Savage X Fenty might want to sell in the future. Now that's just speculating on her plans because I have no idea if she'd ever want to sell them. But here's another thing that you might want to think about things that people don't typically ask for back from you when you're performing. Your underwear. Typically, they're not going to ask you for that. Now, in this case, the sports bras and things of the undergarments, I think somebody said the ribbed tees were Hanes and the sports bras were Fenty, Savage X Fenty. So, I mean, there could be a case where they might ask for the sports bras back, but generally speaking, your undergarments, they're probably just going to give to you. Although I have had gigs where they've asked for every single piece of item back, even the underwear, and they gave you a bag to put the underwear in because they had to account for it. They weren't going to necessarily use it again, but they did have to account for it. I hope this helps, and it was a great performance, and I would love to see the Marshmallow Dancers again. Bye.